So normally, we like to combine news of teams where there's an actual link. Like, oh, if it's waiver news, then we'll just combine it all into one video like we did yesterday. We had talked about Oliver Wahlstrom, Pierre Engvall, and the claiming of Travis Dermott. If there are team links, like, for example, I don't know, there's a team that claims a player from another team, and then this other team has some other news attached to it, then it's okay. But in this video, the link that we're using between these two teams and their stories is the fact that they are playing each other later tonight. The Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins are set to have their game start at 7 p.m. PST, and we did have some roster moves from both of these squads that I wanted to dive into today, starting out with the biggest piece of news. The Boston Bruins have claimed Oliver Wahlstrom of the New York Islanders. He is now a member of the Big Bad Bees, and this shouldn't really be too surprising. Honestly, I think it's meant to be. It's meant to be, really. This is something that I think many fans were expecting and hoping for years. Because Oliver Wahlstrom, not only is he from the area, he is from Portland, Maine, he also happened to be a part of that viral video clip when he was 9 years old, where he had scored that beautiful lacrosse goal in front of the net as a 9-year-old in the Boston Bruins TD Garden Mini 1v1. This was a viral clip that everybody saw. It was one of the more popular hockey clips on YouTube back in the day, and Oliver Wahlstrom was the little 9-year-old boy that was able to get that beautiful goal done. Now, it's 2024, 2025, it's been 15 years, and that little guy is suiting up for the Boston Bruins as a regular, full-time hockey player. Now, we all kind of knew that there was a high chance that Wahlstrom gets claimed after being placed on waivers by the New York Islanders. For Pierre Engvall, there wasn't really too much of a chance there. His contract is just too big for him to be considered in that respect. But for Oliver Wahlstrom, the fact that he's only 24 years old, the fact that he was a former first-round pick in the 2018 draft, there was a lot of pedigree there. There's a lot of potential there. A lot of people saw the NTDP production and said, hey, this guy had 94 points in 62 games played all those seasons ago. He was a sniper. He was potentially a top 6 winger with a shot. It's just that shot never really found itself a home in the National Hockey League. He maxed out at 24 points in 73 games. His best point production season, but his best point per game season was the year before that. He had 21 points in 44 games played. This year, he only had 4 points in 27 games with the New York Islanders, 2 goals and 2 assists, so really not all too productive. And ultimately, for a team like the Islanders that was just trying to move on from this guy, there were already rumblings as to whether or not he could be traded. The fact that they lost out on him for free is intriguing, but at the same time, I mean, they weren't really getting much out of him, so it's not like they missed out on a ton of potential trade value there. I mean, I'm sure they probably went out there and tried shopping his name around, seeing what they could have gotten for him, and if they thought that it wasn't worth it, then it was like, okay, we don't need him on our team anymore. Let's just send him through waivers. If he clears, he clears. And the Boston Bruins want to expand on that profile. They want to take advantage of a guy that had all these skills all those years ago, and they're going to be giving him a home. Wahlstrom, of course, also played for the Boston College Eagles in the NCAA. We had spoken about this yesterday, but Wahlstrom, for all the hype that first-round NTDP guys usually get, Wahlstrom didn't really have too much to show for in his first NCAA year. 19 points in 36 games isn't terrible, but at the same time, I feel like nowadays, for most of the first-round picks that we see get taken out of the NTDP, they usually have a lot more points than this in their first NCAA years. Maybe I'm just tainted because we had seen Boldy and Caulfield and Newhook and all these guys. Newhook, not Newhook, he wasn't NTDP. Turcotte, excuse me. Zegras, you could say as well. Although, maybe that's a little bit of a bad example because Matt Boldy wasn't all too hot in college in the first year that he had. He wasn't really all too productive. But anyways, Oliver Wahlstrom didn't really exhibit the best growth after being drafted in the first round in 2018. Now the Boston Bruins are going to try to take this hometown kid and cultivate him into their lineup. The Bruins need a spark. The Bruins are kind of trash. I have Jeremy Swayman in fantasy. I've been complaining about him all year. I took him at the 4th overall pick, which was a huge mistake. Never take goalies with your high draft picks, folks. unless they are Igor Shesterkin. There will always be players available that are going to be more valuable to you earlier on in the draft, and there will always be goalies available in free agency, no matter how many teams are in your league. I have a 16-team man league, and there are always goalies available. Jeremy Swayman, absolute dog water, terrible, trash, garbage. The guy's not worth any of the money that he was given, and I'm so pissed off that I took him in the 4th overall spot in my draft. I only have myself to blame, but then again, blaming other people feels good. So let's go out there and continue on with today's news, because not only did the Boston Bruins make themselves a waiver claim, we had ourselves some news from the Vancouver Canucks, their opponents from today. GM Patrik Allvin today announced that Mark Friedman, Max Hassan, and Aatu Räty have been recalled from Abbotsford. Also, Artur Shilovs has been recalled on an emergency basis as the goalie exemption. Dollywall tweeted this out. The early word is that Lankinen is not injured. Let's see what the team says after the game day skate. And we did have ourselves some word from Rick Tocchet. He says the Canucks have an illness going through their group right now. That's why Derek Forbort and Kevin Lankinen are absent and not expected to play tonight. Expect the same lineup other than Erik Brannstrom in for Forbort and Thatcher Demko starting. So you guys got to stay safe out there, man. There's a bug going around. A little bit of an illness, a little flu heading into the Canucks locker room and, of course, throughout this city as well. It is getting a little bit cold and rainy, although I will say, is it me, or has Vancouver felt a little bit warmer recently compared to, let's say, October? I feel like it was a lot colder in October than it is right now. Maybe the atmospheric river had something to do with that, and it's tainting my perspective, but for now, I feel like it's not too cold in Vancouver nowadays, in the middle of December, you could say, but anyways, that does not deter the flu from spreading around. The Canucks do have an illness, which is why Forbort and Lankinen are out. Lankinen obviously was fantastic against the Florida Panthers. Derek Forbort, I'd say, was as well. Erik Brannstrom provides a lot of value with puck movement. The Canucks struggled a lot with that recently without him in the lineup, so hopefully he's able to add in some more flexibility in that respect. Thatcher Demko going off against a Boston Bruins team that is really, really not too great. That's a good sign. I'd like to see Demko perform well and maybe do something against his hometown team. Hometown team? No, Demko's from California. What am I talking about? Oh, right, because Demko also played in Boston in his college days. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have a starter confirmed yet for the Boston Bruins, although for my fantasy sake, I hope it is Jeremy Swayman because I do need the goalie starts. Yeah, there isn't any confirmed starter here just yet for the Boston Bruins. But if Jeremy Swayman goes out there and plays tonight, I hope he makes 47 saves on 50 total shots against. I hope Connor Garland gets a hat trick, and I hope that everything else works itself out, because I need to really get my ass into gear. I'm getting destroyed this week, folks, in fantasy hockey. In all 8 of my leagues, I'm looking terrible. So, yeah, I need some guys to really step up for me big time today. Also, there are a lot of games on earlier this morning. Kind of funny to see how that works. It's only 1 in the afternoon right now, but we had already seen all these teams suit up. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all of the news that we had seen today from the Boston Bruins and the Vancouver Canucks. We had ourselves, there you go, Kirill Kaprizov got yet another goal. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. We had ourselves Oliver Wahlstrom getting claimed by the Boston Bruins, as well as the Vancouver Canucks making some roster moves. Thoughts in the comment section below heading into today's game between these two teams. I hope you enjoyed this. 99 and bye.